Challenge accepted. You are all, of course, familiar with this motto. It represents the PALFINGER approach to whatever comes our way. In our first talk, we touched upon some of the challenges the maritime industry is currently facing. And now we'd like to dive in a little deeper to learn more about the concrete solutions PALFINGER has to offer. To do that, I am pleased to introduce the members of our panel. Joining me here in the studio is Martin Zehnder. He's the COO of PALFINGER. Beside him is Andreas Hille. He's Executive Vice President of Product Management and Engineering. We're also thrilled to have with us our highly valued product line managers. First, Jens Hinsch, who's responsible for boats and davits, and Stefan Oberleitner from Wind and Marine Cranes. Last but definitely not least, we have another product line manager joining us virtually all the way from Norway, Jarle Sørstrønen. He's responsible for our marine handling solutions. So welcome, gentlemen, to all of you. So we all know that the marine industry in particular is very challenging because of the difficult environmental conditions that people have to work under. And this, of course, is why safety is such a critical topic when it comes to products and solutions. So I'd like to hear about how PALFINGER Marine approaches the issue of safety. Martin, maybe you would like to give us your thoughts on this?
Safety in the marine sector means worker safety. The day-to-day work of an operator in an offshore application can be extremely challenging. Bad weather, stormy seas, poor visibility, and a high noise level make his work difficult. He must comply with the highly demanding safety requirements on a ship or oil production platform.
Okay, so we know that there's a lot of safety requirements that operators have to comply with. Andreas, how do they make sure that they do comply with these regulations?
Well, on one side, we are dealing with a high demand to reduce the risk for the operator. On the other side, we are operating in a highly professional work environment with a low effect to work with unrelated bystanders. This makes really the marine application a pioneer for introducing those new technologies like autonomous operation or remote operation. But autonomous operation is not just only benefiting reducing the risk, but it's also improving the usability of our products, the way we operate the products, and that at the end reduces cost and effectiveness of the product. This all is increasing the sustainability of our PALFINGER solution.
All right, well now let me turn to you, Jarle, because you are the product line manager for our marine handling solutions, and Andreas was just talking about the benefits of autonomous and remotely controlled workflows. So I know that you also manage autonomous operations. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, I can. Several years ago, some of our most important customers from the energy sector expressed their interest in increasing safety and reducing cost in future operation at sea. This solution to this challenge is autonomous remote crane operation, the birth of the Saber crane. Together with our customer and partners, we have developed the technology over years to its current state. Scale models were built and set up for realistic test, successfully testing the vision and camera technology along with the crane control system, proving that technology is first step towards operational readiness. A new low-maintenance crane concept was developed to be able to operate remote autonomously in harsh offshore environment with minimum maintenance. Numerous studies were conducted to further qualify the technology, focusing on risk and safety. Most relevant stakeholders were part of this process, such as customers, partners, class societies, and authorities. Today, we are testing part of the automated autonomous operating on our existing PALFINGER offshore crane at our customer site. All lessons learned from the various processes in this development program will be incorporated into a steady course toward our ultimate goal, delivery of the offshore cyber crane. This was just a brief taste of what we are doing today in this area. You are invited to listen to Jan Silje's expert presentation later today to get insight about our autonomous crane development.
Okay, I think we're definitely going to be hearing more about autonomous crane development from Jan later on. But now I'd actually like to ask about autonomous operations in boats and davits. Jens, this is your department. What can you tell us?
Thank you. Yeah, we do have also in our area of special boats and davits, of course, the autonomous approach, because you can imagine if you're in bad weather in heavy seas and then you need to drop a boat, rescue boat, lifeboat, really to rescue a person or having a standby situation. If you're going autonomous and having a boat on standby, dropping the boat, getting into the safety by pressing a button, this is, I think, the approach which we need to face, which we need to go forward with. So therefore, of course, it's a challenge, but we are going this way also in our specific field of boats and davits.
And now, Stefan, turning to you, you look after the marine and wind cranes. What role does autonomous operations play in your product line?
Well, Mariana, autonomous operation and digitalization itself, we see as an opportunity to do things better in future, things that we might do smarter. Let me give you an example from a service operation that could be carried out in an offshore wind park at a wind turbine. The service crew is transferred on the crew vessel and is approaching the wind turbine to carry out the service job. So what they have to do actually is when they come there is two opportunities. Opportunity number one is that the entire service crew is moving from a floating boat onto rigid stairways that is attached to the wind turbine in order to get to their job where they can carry out the service job. This is, as you might imagine, quite a dangerous job to do so. The other option that is out there already today is that only one person is actually moving from the floating boat on the stairways and then climbing the platform. That guy is the crane operator. So the first thing when he's on the platform, what he's doing is carrying out a startup procedure of the crane, which is like a visual inspection and also a functionality inspection. As soon as he has done that, he's using a function that we call man riding. And that means nothing else that the crane is used to lift and lower his service crew mates or team members from the floating deck of the boat to the platform. So now the question is, where can autonomous operation help us here? So let's pretend in future it is not necessary anymore for even one guy to move from the floating boat to the stairways, but maybe the crane operator would remotely pair with the crane on the platform, and the crane itself would then carry out autonomously some kind of a safety inspection and also carry out procedures. And then the crane by itself would lower the winch cable to the boat deck, and all the passengers could be transferred in a workman basket safely to their working platform. So we are out talking with customers about this, and we are collecting their ideas, but now this is where it gets tricky. Today, autonomous operation of cranes is like a gray area in standards and norms, and by legal requirements, you're supposed to stand beside the crane when it's started up, and you have to carry out a visual inspection. So our big challenge here is not just to develop a product that fulfills the customer requirements, but even more get in touch with the standard committee, the standard authorities, deliver input to them, and develop side by side with the product also the standards, the requirements, and the legal situation. So in the end, we do not just have a sound and safe crane for the customer, but also have the legal backup there.
So that's obvious that there's a lot to consider when developing new products. I mean, it's clear that there is this shift towards autonomous and remote operations, but it's still very tricky to fulfill all the different regulatory requirements and customer requirements. Andreas, how do you then approach the development of these types of new products at PALFINGER?
First of all, I would like to say that this is really an exciting time for PALFINGER and our global product development organization. The big push towards new digital solutions and the global megatrends that are changing the work environment of our customer and his application, as well as the focus on sustainability and eco-efficient solution, allow us to rethink and reshape our products offering in a big way. This is a huge opportunity, but also a big challenge, and I would say challenge accepted. In order to organize and structure this development of this new technology and functionalities, we have initiated a global development program at PALFINGER. With this program, we are organizing the development of new assisted and autonomous functions, as well as the seamless integration of our products into the solution of our customers, as well as the development of eco-friendly and emission-free solutions.
PALFINGER is, of course, also a leader in land-based lifting solutions. So is there any kind of overlap or sharing of technology with the marine business? Maybe Jens, you can talk about that?
Oh yes, there is, because if we are now going again in the field of the davit systems, we're talking, I know the industry is now maybe nice hiccup. The davit is a crane, because you do have a davit system with a specific application on the vessel, but in general it's a crane. And this is one of the biggest advantages from PALFINGER, that we have a lot of experiences out of our crane business. And talking with a davit system like a crane, we can really use these ideas, these technologies, these expertise, really to bring also our davit systems to the next step. So it's really the possibility of a nice combination of the land-based experiences with the maritime industry.
And is there anything more that we can learn about possible synergies between the land and marine business at PALFINGER?
Yes, there is much more about the way we generate synergies within the PALFINGER Group. The development of new technologies to operate PALFINGER lifting solution autonomously is an important and very large investment. We can only execute this by utilizing our complete engineering power. To do this, we combine the different capabilities around our systems architecture. In addition, we have to collaborate closely with external development partners. We also partner with other OEMs with similar challenges in similar applications.
Okay, so we just heard that there is a unified PALFINGER approach to integrating technology into different applications, but I would like to find out how exactly are PALFINGER systems then integrated into customer solutions? Who could answer that?
I can answer that. So our systems have to be integrated and have to be performed in the customer's value chain. The customer's value chain constantly become more digitized. Our systems need to be integrated into the customer's ecosystem in a seamless way. It's not just about being connected. Our focus is to be seamlessly integrated. To understand the difference between being connected versus being seamlessly integrated, let me give you an example. From the automotive industry, you get into your car, plug in your cell phone to charge the battery and play music through the car sound system. That means connected. Now, the same story in a seamless integration. You get into your car, the user interface from your phone comes up on your car's display, the car's navigation system plans the trip based on your next appointment from your calendar. That's a difference. That's seamless integration. PALFINGER solution that can be seamlessly integrated are our aim. So that means our offshore crane becomes an integrated element of our customers' logistics value chain.
So then what are the most important things to keep in mind when it comes to ensuring that the provided solution is, in fact, seamlessly integrated?
Well, to seamlessly integrate our systems in the solution of our customer, 3 elements are really critical. First, we need to standardize and harmonize the data and communication standards between the systems, our systems, and the system of our customers. Second, we have to integrate communication interface into our control system, a wireless and, of course, a wire connection. And third, we are developing a software architecture which allows us to perform bidirectional exchange of information and over-the-air software update. The possibility of highly networked solutions are huge, and we are only at the beginning here. The current megatrend of the so-called platform economy will also find its way into our industry, and we must prepare the PALFINGER solution to be an active participant of these future digital platforms.
Thank you very much for that, Andreas. So now that we know what to look for, could we possibly hear about a specific example of this kind of integration? Maybe we can start with marine handling solutions. So Jarle, do you have a specific example for us?
Yes, I have. Here I want to share what we've done on a high level, what we have done recently to integrate a package of equipment into the client total system for a PALFINGER delivery to cable layer vessels. Cable layers today are packed with equipment to enable them for efficient cable laying operation offshore. On this vessel, we are delivering lifting and handling equipment used during cable laying operation, such as A-frames and winches for launching and recovery of cable plow and to tow plow during operation, offshore cranes for lifting of different equipment used on the vessel, overhead cranes, and lots of other equipment to assist the cable operations. Most of this equipment are delivered via PALFINGER machine ecosystem for binding together different PALFINGER units to a complete application, such as A-frames and winches, and which to a certain level are connected with other parts of the vessel system to enhance the safety and efficiency of the total operation on board the vessel. Our system have the readiness to be much more integrated, part of the bigger ecosystem, and we are open for connectivity to remove unnecessary barriers which are existing today.
And what about integration at boats and davits? Jens, what can you tell us about that?
This is a good topic because we do have this integration. As I said, a davit is a crane. I think my colleagues will kill me, but the topic is that really in the davit system, in the comparison with the crane, having sensors, having really data, analyze possibilities, installing sensors, having really then the outcome that you can really see what is your system doing, what are the feedback, what is the data collected. There you have really the possibility to have an integration from the system itself, but also with the system, as Jarle explained, also within the ship system. So we are really going the way forward to have a seamless integration, that we're integrating our products as a kind of a standalone product in the ship system and having then a data management available, which we can really use to have a trend, to have the possibility to collect the data and really to analyze the data afterwards.
Thank you very much for that. I'd now like to switch the conversation over to another very important issue that impacts the maritime industry, and that is, of course, sustainability. And I mean, this is true for many different areas. A lot more definitely needs to be done, should be done. So what is PALFINGER doing then to improve its environmental footprint?
I said it at the beginning. Sustainability is a mega trend. The climate crisis is a global issue, and the need toward greater sustainability is unstoppable. The Green Deal demands are crystal clear. The European Union wants to be climate neutral by 2050. So let's make sure that PALFINGER contributes to this Green Deal. To repeat, sustainability is now one of PALFINGER's core brand values. We see our responsibility towards society, to our customers, to our employees, and future generations. We have to implement this strongly in our future product offering.
And now, do we already have some examples of greener solutions from PALFINGER that's available to our customers now? Maybe Jarle, you can talk to us about that?
Yeah. In the product lines marine handling solution, we have for many years worked with electrification of our products. And almost our whole product portfolio, consisting of offshore cranes, handling equipment, winches, and access equipment, are electrified as a result of this development. For example, we did our first fully electrical offshore cranes a couple of years ago to a major oil company. On the PALFINGER offshore crane delivered weeks ago, we have done several new developments in the aspect of safety and digitalization, but there are other new developments implemented on the crane to further reduce the environmental footprint. Of course, it's a fully electrified crane, but in addition, we have installed an active front-end solution which enable the crane to deliver power back to the grid when the lifting boom are lowered or other regenerating operations are running. The technology is developed and tested and are ready to be used when we have customers interested in such energy-saving technology.
And are we also seeing this electrification trend in other product areas?
Well, I'd love to answer that if the colleagues don't mind and if I may. In the wind park industry, electrification of wind cranes is not a very new thing, but honestly happened already more than 10 years ago. And probably that's the reason why we already have a full product portfolio available since 2014. And honestly, super happy to tell that we are about to launch an entire next generation PF crane in autumn of this year. Emission-free was, of course, one topic that was crucial, but the reason our customers really went for electrified units was not just the emission-free thing, but there is other benefits coming with the electrification. One of that is the reliability of a closed electric system. It's just, it's more reliable in these harsh circumstances. The other topic is that you wouldn't like to create like an oil leakage, or you try to avoid oil leakages out on the sea. And last but not least, but also very important, is that it just requires less service and maintenance. So the running costs for our customers are lower.
Okay, so it sounds like there are a lot of benefits that come along with electrification, but I imagine it must also pose a lot of challenges. So are there any specific requirements for wind cranes when it comes to electrification?
Yes, there are specific requirements. As in most of the industries, you have specific requirements. In this regard, what was quite challenging is that there is a new standard that was only published recently, which is EN 13852 in version number 3, if I'm not mistaken. And that, for the first time, has defined very clearly and specific the requirements and the standards that you need to apply for light offshore cranes, as it's called. In fact, what it means in reality is that the loader, the crane, has to withstand a higher load moment. That doesn't explain by itself what it means for the customer. Very simple. The cranes are supposed to be designed more sturdy, more reliable, and the benefit for the customer is that the product itself can last longer. And in addition to that, the topic is corrosion, which is very specific. Again, saltwater conditions. And when it comes to corrosion protection, you would love to, or you would like to consider that already during the design. So you must not show any sharp edges. It should be rounded corners. I mean, that's simple for the reason that during the paint job, other than that, you do not get the thickness of the paint for the corrosion protection. The attachment points, the pins, and the bushes are made from stainless steel. And after all, what is also very important, when it comes to the installation of the unit, you would love to have it as a plug-and-play solution, so you don't have to mess around during the installation. And again, that makes life easier for our customers. And I mean, not worth to mention, but of course, our next generation PF cranes comes with all these features. So you can be excited and really looking forward to that.
And I'm sure a lot of the customers are also really looking forward to that. Jens, I'd like to turn to you now to ask about electrification in the Boats & Davis product line. How far has it been integrated into these products?
That's a huge trend because, of course, with the electrification, emission-free applications, and really, it's a topic which we're really facing and to make it happen. On the one hand, we do have the certification topic because out of the SOLAS, safety of life at sea, we are still, it's an old traditional rule and regulation. So a lifeboat, rescue boat need to be equipped with a combustion engine. So on the one hand, therefore, then we're looking into really the situation. Do we have the possibility about a hybrid solution, for example, that we can really run with a combustion engine in the case of lifeboat or rescue boat purpose, or otherwise then switching down really then the combustion engine and run on the electrical power. So this is one trend which we're really going forward now. And if you imagine having a guest on board or being really on a guest tour, it's nice to have a really quiet propulsion system, and therefore I think it's a nice trend. But with our approach in the specific special purpose boats, we are looking into the full electric solution. So therefore, we do have the possibility really to look into the details. What is the best setup? What is the best electrical drive? What is the best battery propulsion combination, really to get really emission-free with a long duration? It started in the offshore industry. It's really a big trend due to the fact that diesel engines in the test procedure are clogged by running the diesel only for a certain amount of time. And therefore, it's nice to have really the possibility to start the system without being waterborne. So therefore, you can really fire it up and see your system is ready in case of. So it is a huge trend. And if you really be interested into this one, my colleague Ricardo Besselsen will later on then in the round table guide you a bit through to our approach even on the David side. What is the meaning of an electric David system? And my colleague Lasse Pöppe, he will bring a bit more the topic to you with hybrid and full electric solutions.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for all of your insights and perspectives. I would like to wrap up our talk maybe in the same way that we began it, with the motto, challenge accepted. You all are familiar with this motto. So maybe you can just tell me, what does it mean to you? And why don't we just start with Jarle, who's our virtual guest. Jarle, when I ask you, what does challenge accepted mean? What would you tell us?
For me, it means spend time to understand the customer's current and future problems, so the right solution can be applied. And then be selective in choosing the right challenges. And when we have accepting the challenge, then we are all in from the end to start.
And Stefan, how about you? Challenge accepted, what does it mean?
We do not know the world of tomorrow. We'll never know the world of tomorrow, but nevertheless, we need to move on. We need to make decisions, and we need to find answers on questions that have not yet been asked. That is what it means to me, and is very clear, challenge accepted.
And Jens, your thoughts?
It's exactly as Stefan said, it's the challenge accepted, because in the future or our maritime applications, we need to follow really new requirements, new trends, new possibilities. But it is really to turn around a product into solutions. So therefore, really being on the spot with the right solution on time. And therefore, I agree to my colleague, challenge accepted.
And Andreas?
For me, challenge accepted is harmonizing and synchronizing the development of these critical technologies for PALFINGER, across PALFINGER, so we can really gain speed and we can provide safe and reliable solutions for our customer, which really add value at the end.
And last but not least, Martin, your thoughts on challenge accepted?
Yes, once again, the world is changing faster and faster, and megatrends will have a massive impact on our business. Our customers have to be successful with our solution. With us as a partner, you will overcome future challenges. For me, challenge accepted means we develop the needed solutions for this grateful future.
So Martin Zehnder, Andreas Hiller, Jens Hinch, Stefan Oberleitner, Jarle Sjöströnen. Gentlemen, thank you so very much indeed for sharing all of these insights. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.